Good morning. It's Dr. David Roney. I hope everybody's doing well. Today's blog post is sort of inspired by my homegirl Shabana from Altruist, and who asked me to do a sort of 10 lessons to live by instead of a New Year's resolution. I don't really believe in those because most people, including myself, I haven't followed through on them. So I tend to have my lessons that I know I can live by every day, right? So right off the bat, every year people go through, you see them, they say, hey, I'm going to lose 30 pounds and I'm going to lose. And so they go to the gym, and then you see at the beginning of the gym, if you're like to work out like me, they'll show up in the gym and the gym's packed at your normal time, right? But then over the course of time, like weeks go by, you start to see less and less people show up because they weren't truly committed. It wasn't part of their lifelong sort of principles and lessons that they live by because they never truly believed in it. They didn't have a lot of there was no visceral type pain, or there's no poignant moment that caused them to have that type of want to make that change, right? So it wasn't a long lasting thing, it was a short lasting thing. So these are 10 things for me that have motivated me based upon something that I experienced, right? The first one is failure is not an option. And this is important because if you pay attention to how I was raised and the situation that I grew up in, when I left home 20 years ago, no one was coming to save me, right? So like if I failed out at Naval Academy, then I was on my own. I would have had to just sort of figure it out. So the Naval Academy was my best option for providing for my family. So guess what? I just had to figure it out. No matter what happened, no matter how bad it got, no matter what discrimination I went through, I just had to figure it out. So failure has never been an option. Number two, can't. That word doesn't exist in my vocabulary, and it shouldn't exist in yours. And the reason why is most people are quick to say no because they don't understand something or they don't think they can do something. But the reality is they've never tried. And the only way you're going to know if you can do something is if you believe that you can figure it out. And so I believe that I can always figure things out. Now, over the course of years, I've started to say no a little bit more, but I never say can't. I never let my kids say that word. As a matter of fact, it's a bad word in my house, and they know the quickest way to get me to react to something is them saying they can't do it. So believe in yourself, believe that you can do it, and just take that out of your vocabulary. Number three, work your hardest every day. Work like it's the last day on earth that you have. My mom, now she's been gone for a while. One of the best things that she taught me is that at the end of the day, if you can look yourself in the mirror and say that you worked your hardest that day, it's kind of hard to be upset with that, right? Not all of us are born with money. Not all of us are born with super high intelligence, but we can all work hard, right? That's the leveling factor, right? Now, if you have great intelligence and you're a hard worker, well, guess what? Like you're really doing it. But like you can overcome a lot of obstacles with hard work. You can get through the learning curves with hard work. If you're willing to put in more work than everyone else, that stands out, and that will pay off in the end. This is a hard lesson, number four, that I had to learn over the course of years. It's okay to be tired. It's okay. It's not okay to not try. And that's a big difference, right? So like if you're tired, that's your body saying, hey, you know what, take a break for a second. I just need a second. It doesn't mean that you can't do it or you have no ability to accomplish it. But not trying is something completely different, right? That's just giving up on yourself. That's giving up on everyone around you. That's giving up on everything you set out to do. And that's not okay with me. You listen to your body, be healthy, take breaks, that's fine. But the whole not trying thing, that's just not a good deal. And so get in the habit of understanding the difference and ask yourself when you're tired, is it because you don't want to try to do what you're doing, or are you tired, right? And if you're tired, take a break. No one's going to fault you for that. But then get after it right afterwards. Number 5, give everyone some grace, man. We all go through hard times. We all struggle sometimes. It's not one of those things that is easy to really understand, because we all have different experiences. Different things set us off. Different things motivate us. Different things cause us pain based upon our experiences in life. Just be understanding of that, man. Like, no one inherently wants to be mean to you. No one inherently, I would hope, doesn't want to discriminate against you. A lot of it, what we experience as adults, is the product of what we went through as a child. So, like, if you can take a step back and say, you know what, let me give this person the benefit of understanding, we can sort of resolve a lot of conflicts. Sometimes that is impossible. Sometimes you have such a visceral response and emotional response, it's hard to think in those moments. And I'm going to ask you, and I just like I asked myself, to take a deep breath, take a step back, and actually think from their point of view. And I think you can find a way to work things out. Number 6, success is found in doing the hard thing. That's like true success, right? Because if it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. If you were doing the easy thing 100% of the time, well, guess what? You're never going to push yourself and actually maximize your potential. So you have to do the hard things. And then the first 5 lessons, I mean, that's where all that comes in, right? The stuff that you have to do that truly is going to give you a level of success that you are proud of and differentiates you from those around you are going to be the stuff that is very hard. So look for those things. Be willing to do those things, because most people aren't willing to do the hard things. So that's going to be where your success is going to come from. Lesson number 7, you are not Superman, you're not Superwoman. It's okay to take a break, right? This goes back to just being healthy. One of my problems is sometimes I'll focus so much on a task that I forget to eat. And so I'll work on something for 14, 15 hours straight. And then by the end of the day, I'm just exhausted. I'm beat down. I haven't drank anything. My back hurts. My kidneys hurt, right? Because they're dehydrated. And I just feel mentally and emotionally drained, right? I got the project done, but I'm mentally and emotional drained. That's not good, right? It's not healthy, right? It's okay to take a break. No one faults you for that. The whole goal and the objective is to complete whatever you're going to complete, right? There's no time frame in which you need to do it. If there is a time frame, you can figure out to work breaks in there and have scheduled breaks and take a time for you to relax. You actually do better in your performance and it's more optimal that way if your body's operating at sort of its peak efficiency every single time. If it doesn't have fuel, if it's overworked, you're not gonna work efficiently. So make sure you work some breaks in for you. Lesson 8, let yourself feel your emotions and figure out why you're having them. Right? Our emotions are natural responses, right? Now you can have sort of excess natural response, and that's where we start to talk about pathologic causes of like depression, anxiety, and all these things. But the anxiety and depression are normal, right? And there's a normal spectrum of it, and then there's an abnormal sort of component to it. Now, not everyone has the abnormal stuff, but anxiety is normal. We have a flight or fight response, right? And that's just what has evolved over the years. There's a reason why you have it. So, like, if you're feeling anxious in a moment, ask yourself, what about that moment is making you feel anxious? Maybe it's public speaking. Maybe it's you don't like crowds. Maybe it's like something that you really, really don't want to do and you're forcing yourself to do it. The minute you come to grips with why you feel that way, you'll feel a lot better, right? And so that's the etiology and the underlying cause of your emotion is just as important as feeling your emotion and understanding that, hey, in the future, this might cause me some anxiety. That's how you grow. Lesson number 9, always know your why and keep that in your focus at all times. That's how you stay motivated, man. Every day I wake up and I get to see my kids and my wife, and that's my why, right? For a long time, I lost that. When my mom died, I absolutely lost my why. Why was I doing this stuff? Why did I push so hard? Why did I want to go down this path? What was the purpose? And the way for me is I had to rediscover that, right? Because I was living for everyone else. And even today, I live for everyone else, but I live for the legacy that I'm trying to create. Because when I look at everyone around me, that is my legacy. So I work my hardest and I have a constant reminder of why I do things. Number 10, and the last one. This is very important, so listen up. Never be afraid to help others. Doing the right thing is always the right answer, and that's just a reality. Sometimes it may not make sense while you're helping someone else. However, that plays dividends, right? When I was a senior in high school, I had to go to a school that would allow me to take extra classes, basically classes from my junior year during my senior year in order to make sure that I graduated on time. Well, during that time, I had took the SAT and uh, I didn't get as high as the score as I needed, right? I got a good score, but not as high as the score as I needed. And the coaches from the Naval Academy said, hey, man, you got to take this thing again. And I hated the SAT, man. It was the verbal component. It was terrible, absolutely terrible. But I had a teacher by the name of Margaret Shook, who at the time, nobody knew what I was going through at home. No one knew that there was no food on the table when I went home at night. There was no someone to give me a hug when there was a bad day, right? My mom was in the hospital and I was like living, bouncing between places. I broke down crying, man. And she just asked me, how can I help? What do you need? And I said, I just need to get out of high school and go to the Naval Academy because, that's going to be the best way to help my mom and help my brother. And she said, well, what do you need me to do? And I said, I am struggling and I can't afford a tutor. And she tutored me for free, man. She didn't ask for anything. She took her own time and she tutored me on the verbal component on how to take the SAT. And I got my score up, right? She didn't have to do it. But for her, that in her head, that was the right thing to do. And look where it got me, man. That getting over that hump got me to where I am today. So I am eternally grateful for her. And that gave me the lesson that I need to know that not everything's about money. Just do the right thing, man. Do the right thing for people and things will always work out and that will always be the right answer. Anyway, happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I hope everybody is doing well. This is Dr. David Roney. This will be the new format of the blog here going forward. And we'll get back to all the finance talk in the next year. Talk to you later. Peace.